our guest speaker today is Mr. Derek Walker, and I'll let him share some other information about himself, but he is a multi-hyphenate artist. And what that means is he's a poet, he's a producer, he's a filmmaker, he's a visual artist. He has 2 spoken word albums. He's published lots of books. Both of his spoken word albums have received Grammy considerations, so the big Grammy Awards. And he was there a few months ago when that happened. So hopefully, by him sharing some career highlights and sharing how he's been able to be this multi-hyphenate artist. It's not one thing, okay? So many times we believe we need to be one thing or we need to pursue one career. And I think I've talked to you all about that. Even my career has been, I've had lots of different jobs in and out of higher education. So I wanted to bring him to you all as a form of inspiration, not only in terms of you all putting together this music informative speech, but also for you all to hear some possibilities with your career and about not having to be just one thing. The other piece I left out is that he also has had a big career in marketing and communication. So even on the business side, art side, lots of different sides. But I think you all will enjoy hearing from him. So I want you all to take a few notes on that green paper there. Go ahead and put your name on it. Okay. Mr. Walker is going to ask you to also write some things down. Okay. But this will be how you all will earn your in-class activity points for today. So I'll pick these up near the end of our class time today. Okay. Next week, we will really get down and dirty with researching your topic and outlining your topic so that you all will be prepared to present your 3 to 5 minute music informative speech. Okay, but today is our inspo day. Okay, and hopefully you all will have some good questions to ask him once he wraps up his presentation. It's a very interactive presentation, so I said I brought a co-teacher, so I'm gonna bring someone who's kind of like me, but on steroids, okay? So I know you all will enjoy this presentation, so let's welcome Mr. Walker.
Woo-hoo! Thank you, CC. How y'all feeling? Good. Oh, look, wait. When I say feeling good, y'all say feeling better. Feeling good? Feeling good? Feeling good. Already. Everybody clap one time for yourself. Everybody clap 2 times for me. Everybody clap 3 times for the Holy Ghost. All right, we're going to shout if you keep going. I might take up offering. Listen, first of all, I appreciate you all for being here, and thank you. I'm going to clap for you. The importance of clapping is that I'm recognizing you. I see you. And we often do things that we may not be recognized for. We often have moments in life that we feel like we should have been recognized about. This idea of us clapping one tells our body that someone's recognizing us, even if it's for ourselves. So we have to sometimes clap for who? Ourselves in the midst of what we're doing with everyone else. So 1 time clap for yourself, 2 times clap for me, 3 times clap for we. All right, so we will write down this word, L-O-V. L-O-V. L-O-V-E. You might be scared to evolve, but the L-O-V-E of the word can carry you through the eternity of it all. Like literally, when you write down the word evolve, in fact, let's write it down. Oh, okay. We got more?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do it like that. All right. So literally, when you work, how you spell evolve? E-V-O-L-V. All right. How does it spell? What does it spell? You might be scared to evolve, but the L-O-V-E O-V-E of the word can carry you through the eternity of it all. Like literally, when you write down the word evolve, you remove the V and E and you look at it in reverse, it spells out love. Love is what you thought was missing. But the truth is love was never missing. It was always within you. Your evolution will not be televised. Your evolution will not be televised. Your evolution will not be televised. Love will not show up in your social media feed. No, I'm sorry. Swiping left or swiping right will not reveal the real. The love you want won't be found in your DM. The love is not just the pleasure of your likings or the souls of your Nikes. Not even the time you traded when you went to work and sold your soul to buy those souls of those Nikes to impress those souls that care less about your likeness. Love will not be liked. Never sell your soul for likes because you could start to like it more than you like you simply because you showed the highlights. All because you got high likes. Then you were asked to boost yourself through what's called advertisements. Now you're essentially selling your soul for likes like what was on television and still is. Your evolution will not be televised. Your evolution will not be televised. Your evolution will not be televised. So govern your mentals to make sure that you don't allow the government to govern your mentals. The SBA ain't got enough PPP for you to accept and appreciate and understand all that you can be. Be. Poem.
Speak, poet.
Speak, poet. Thank you.
Or some snaps.
Some snaps. We got snaps. Listen, I love snaps. I love claps. The idea when I'm hosting my open mic, the snaps are like raindrops. I love nature and appreciate nature. And in fact, who hates the rain, right? What did rain do to you? So I always like to show love to the rain and show love to the moment by letting the snaps go. So let me hear some snaps real quick. Sound like raindrops. Everybody clap, 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 clap. The clap from a nature standpoint is like the thunder. That is to let someone else know, hey, somebody is saying something or sharing something that's worth being repeated, worth being listened to. So the claps are for that. The snaps are say to the poet, to the person speaking, hey, I see you, I recognize you. So whenever you're around a space where there's poetry, spoken word, these are some of the rules and dynamics of what and how we engage. Why am I talking about engagement? It's because it is how we operate in public space, in shared space. Being present in public space or social space is what I consider public art. We are living public art. And the exchange of that art is through moments. It's through silence. It's through words, through expression, through and with creativity. That creativity is a flow. There's a current, a currency to that. And so understanding how to utilize creativity, which is your options, of the moments to create a currency or a flow or a transaction or transformation or even transcendence with people is how we're able to utilize words as shapes, sounds, letters, ideas, thoughts, opinions, emotions, and even presence. Framing the journey. I'm from Dallas, Texas, specifically Oak Cliff. The idea of framing the journey is represented in not just one way. It's presented in multiple ways. The idea of communication exists not just with the words that are presented, but literally down to the letters. Perspective, evolve. Same letter as love if you remove the V and the E and you look at it in reverse. Something that you did not know was present, but it always existed. That's the idea of what words do. That's the narrative. That's the story that's connected to it. So now when you look at the word evolve, you can never not see what? Love. The idea of being present is to have a similar type of experience as public art with people. So how do we frame ourselves? How did I frame this? As a graphic designer, I used a gold antique style frame, very classic, traditional, but I also used something that speaks to other aspects of what we're interpreting. So give me some more interpretive perspectives that you're recognizing about this. One, the frame of what's going on and all the words and everything presented. What else are you seeing that sticks out to you that tells a story?
The background looks kind of retro.
Background looks retro. I'm gonna accept that from you, brother, because I don't know how old retro is, but this is definitely of the 90s. And so I use this. The story behind this is if you look up a lot of the photos that were taken in school, y'all ever had class pictures? Right? This was the key version of that in the 80s, early 90s. This neon background. Right? What else are you observing about this image, this representation? Thank you for that. Let's get two more. Go ahead. Has a Polaroid picture. Does anyone know what a Polaroid is? All right, it's Instagram before Instagram. Right? And the idea of a Polaroid picture is to frame that I was born in the 80s, right? So now I have this connectivity of the visual. The Polaroid picture suggests that. Any other story elements stick out? Anything?
You got lines going outside of the frame. Like some of the lines are going outside of it.
Some of the lines are going outside the frame. What is that? What do you think that suggests or communicates?
My first thought is kind of just being outside of the box in general.
Being outside the box, yeah. Sometimes you have to see what's outside the frame. When I think about when I'm doing video or documentaries, I can't only look inside the frame because I might miss what's happening around. So I have to position myself to be able to use, honestly, Pythagorean theorem using angles. I'm going to have the camera here because your camera should be waist length anyway, right? And I'm going to have to see from here, but to a point that I know the camera's able to shoot. So now when I'm looking around, I can just click. I don't have to be like this. I can be present in the room without also being the person who's taking the photo. Because who loves it more than to be in a moment and somebody's taking a picture? It doesn't feel what?
Right.
It doesn't feel right. It feels inhumane. It's like, get the camera out of my face. Stop. You paparazzi. It's weird. Right? All right. Let's go one more. Let's go a couple more with this. I love the perspective and the interpretation that you're having. Go ahead. The red wood clip. Tell me about that narrative. What do you see with this?
You got a whole bunch of colors and red just stick out.
Yeah. Some of that is about just the narrative of using primary colors, right? We've got these neon colors, feels futuristic, but also red is an attractive color, right? It's going to draw attention. It's also a wooden clothespin, right? That connects to my growing up on a ranch in Midlothian. As a kid. It also connects to times when you would utilize these as a means of drying your clothes. This was the clothes dryer. You get a clothespin and hang it up and it would air dry, right? I saw another hand. Was it yours? I saw another hand. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that.
The clothespin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about it. What you think? What you see?
I was gonna say the same thing, like how like back then, like people had to hang up their clothes like to dry.
Gotcha. Framing the journey. Somebody write that down. Framing the journey. That's how you're able to present or introduce and connect with people. You have to frame it, right? And that means sometimes your opening statement. Someone say opening statement?
Opening statement.
Right? You're going to frame the journey. You haven't started the journey yet. You haven't told the story completely. You're framing it. You're getting it started. One thing I did with the poem is say, you might be scared to evolve. It's a statement. It's a declarative statement. It's coming out and saying, you might be. Now, has anyone ever been afraid? Has anyone ever been scared? Right? So now there's a connection of relativity, a relational connectivity, right? We may not have been afraid or scared of the same things, but we understand as humans what being scared is like. What's one thing you might be scared of or have been scared of? Police. What's one thing you've been scared of? Public speaking, right? What's one thing you've been scared of? Mm-hmm. Your mom, right? Right? Right. You might be scared to evolve, but the LOVE of the word can carry you through the eternity of it all, right? There's never not going to be a moment that you're not scared. That's nature. It's okay. It's also a point of connection because while I may not be afraid of my mom or scared of my mom, I can understand being scared of the police. I can understand being scared of basically an unwanted situation that you recognize it absolutely is, right? You might be scared to evolve, but the LOVE, now what does this mean? Is that what is that? Describe that word. Not what does it mean, but what does it, describe the type of word that connects. You might be scared to evolve, but the LOVE can carry you through. That's another what? What type of word? How do we connect with love is what? A feeling? Love is what? Two more. Pain. Right? Love is what else? Strong. right? Love is something that we may all connect with as well. So as we've been scared to evolve, we can recognize that love has what? Existed? It exists, even if we don't see it. So in the midst of being scared, you may be scared to evolve, but the L-O-V-E in the word can carry you through. The afraid is evolve, connected to emotions, right? So this idea of evolution, what does evolve mean? Change. What else? Two more. Run. Growth, right? One more. Uno más, por favor. Become, right? So you might be scared to be better. You might be scared to grow. You might be scared to change. And even in the midst of that, there's love that exists even when you what? Don't see it. That's perspective. It's narrative. In physics, you can go quantum physics technically if you want. It's the known unknown, right? You know that something exists, you just don't know, right? You knew that there could have been something else to exist with these letters because the letter E-V-O-L-V-E is evolve with one meaning. But if you take this out, it has something else. You just have to see it from a different perspective. Doesn't change the word, doesn't change the meaning. It's just something that exists in another way. Right? In rap and hip hop, you can call it rhyme. In poetry, you can call it, pentamic. I mean, you can go through all the literary terms, right? Understanding how to do this is part of where the clever of your presentation of your writing can exist, right? I hadn't even gotten to the other part of the soles of your Nikes, the soul of your soul, right? So now we're talking about the idea of the spelling from one perspective, but also the phonetic spelling of that. How do you hear the words? How do you hear the words? How do the words resonate with someone else? How do they connect to other spaces, other opportunities, and other ideas? What you might believe about the word might be framed differently for who? Someone else. So whenever we're opening statements, we want to start off with something that frames or connects us in a way that's dynamic. I don't necessarily recommend speaking to emotions. I think the opportunity is to connect with the emotion. All right, so that's about framing the journey. Entering the world of marketing. When we think about music, we have to think about, when you think about music and marketing, what's a jingle?
Something catchy.
Something catchy. So think of a product that's been sold that has a song to it. Go talk to me. What's the song? Three. Hold on. How does it go?
The snack that smiles back.
The snack that smiles back. Goldfish. Y'all clap it up for that. The snack that smiles back. Right? Talk to me about the connectivity of that. The snack that smiles back. One, that's what?
The rhyme.
It's catchy. It rhymes. The snack that smiles back. Imagine you smile at your food and your food smile back to you. Okay, I might be scared. Right? That means it's got a face. It's kind of weird. But that's about personification. Using narrative as a means of, using personification as a means of connecting to people. Personify, person, people, humans, personification to put personal connectivity to things. When you look outside, what's shining bright? Okay, when you look outside, what's shining bright? What's the difference? The light?
Sound the same, but
What's the difference? One's a who? Who said it? What? One's a kid, and one's a star. Who said that? Oh, right. So what's the similarities? They sound the same. Which one has been personified? So as we read stories, how do we know that we're not talking about this son, but this son? Or are we talking about both at one time? Y'all quiet. What you thinking?
That's the context behind it.
Context. Context. Which goes to, from one standpoint of you sharing stories, to your intention. Do you communicate with, what are you communicating with the intention of? Right? And how do you communicate in a way that allows someone to discover something they didn't recognize before? When I talk about going into the world of marketing, there's a psychological aspect of that. And the psychology of that is using things that are familiar that connect with people. One of my first music festivals, I like to do events that are family-centric. And one of the best ways to connect with that is through outdoor events and gatherings. And so I had a music festival named Music Under the Sun. And I would say Music Under the Sun, but when they saw it, it was spelled Music Under the S-O-N, because I would do it on a Sunday. And I would connect it to faith, because many of the faiths connect to some idea of a sun. But also, if you don't have the faith story or the connection, come out to the park and enjoy music under the what? Mindfulness. That's what we have as it relates to using words and letters to create sounds and shapes and frame stories and frame narratives. So understanding that is how we're able to utilize and benefit the marketing world, because it's how we connect these ideas to people. Sometimes there's this belief that the product is the commodity. No. The words, the narrative, the story, the idea is the commodity. Because once one person understands how to utilize the idea, it's commodified and then becomes utilized. It becomes commodified and utilized within their life. You may not have known you needed to hear a poetry album until you did. But also in the marketing world, your commercials are essentially art. How do you articulate this idea? It's through expression. It's through media. With messages. Messages expressed deliberately intending action. Somebody write that down. Messages expressed deliberately intending action. That's media. It's an acronym. So once again, we're using words. Media. M, messages expressed deliberately intending action. That's media. Messages expressed deliberately intending action. Hearing that, what does that sound like? What does that do for you as it relates to understanding what a brand is?
Programming.
Say it again?
Programming.
Programming, right? What else are you thinking about when you hear the word brand? Money. When you think about the idea of brand, consider that, the fourth word, the stockyards, right? Stock, cattle. Before trains existed, you'd have to herd up all your cattle and get with the cattleman and get on a horse, and you had to walk your product, your beefs and your steaks and all this product, not poultry, all your stock, to the place to be distributed. That means you have to go from Dallas or Fort Worth up through the trails. Most of the time it was going to Kansas City, St. Louis, to be able to cross over to Mississippi. The idea is that these farmers or these ranchers, these cattlemen had to have a brand. So if you're moving your cattle and you're moving your cattle and they get exchanged, how do you identify who is what or who connects? You mark them. Marketing. You mark them with a brand. That means if my brand, if we had a company name, what's the name of our company? All right, we'll just use mine. So, right, my name is D Walk, right? My name is Derek, right? But that might be too much because that's too common. My name is Derek Walker. That might still be too common. What other brand can we come up with? And I like to use the phonetics, right? And so my brand will be DWLK. That work? Right? And I'm going to take this brand, I'm going to make an iron. I'm going to make a product with this. I'm going to heat it up and get it so hot, and I'm going to make an impression onto the product. I'm going to make an impression onto the packaging so that when people see it, they know what box to put it in. I'm going to make this impression with this brand, this symbol that represents, right? This is not the whole thing. This is just a representation of what? You, right? So our communication, our language, our letters, our shapes are essentially communication. Because language does exist. We also understand that letters are shapes. So, right, so for me, this D is a half circle. This is 2 triangles. Right? This is, we'll say, essentially a box, a rectangle. And this is another triangle and another triangle. Right? So now we're able to look at letters as shapes that translate and communicate. So the idea, once again, is to look at words or look at art or look at expressions and see how many perspectives you can have of what's going on. Am I making sense? Right? Real quick, into science, right? When you look at these lights, what color do you see? White, right? When you put a prism in front of them, the prism separates the light into what? The rainbow, right? Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there, right? Sun. Without the proper context, you could have the wrong interpretation. Media, messages expressed deliberately intending action. That's an acronym. It's technically initialism. I like to use those because it shows how words can break down into other words, right? I mentioned brand. How you spell brand? B-R-A-N-D, right? Be real and never deceive. That's how you make words have meaning, right? And to put the intentionality behind that. Y'all might want to write this down. You'll catch it. You'll catch it later on. Brand, be real and never deceive through your media. Messages expressed deliberately intending action. So whether you choose Instabook or Faceagram or TikTok or blackpeoplemeet.com or Christian Mingle, your messages at a core, your messages expressed deliberately intending action through your being real and never deceiving will allow you to be present as a brand and as a whole human without changing who you are. Now, we can be us in a given situation, right? And that's where our options show up. If I go back to my acting, the method acting, Stanislavski, is like, what's the magic if, right? What is our intention about how we're moving and how we're engaging? When I showed up in the room, my intention was to be present and to be aware and to respond accordingly to what's presented to me, right? Now, my options include expo marker, dry erase board, presentation, dialogue, conversation, one-on-one, in a big group, right? I get to use all these options that exist as it relates to presenting my brand through mixed messages expressed deliberately, intending action, through my being real and never deceive. And so once again, when you talk about entering the marketing world, media and brand are gonna be core to what you do, and you really wanna prioritize your communication, what I call micro communication, your messaging, and your words. The origins of spoken word as an artist for me didn't just start as speaking words. It started being at church and saying Easter speeches. And the better you can memorize, the smarter everybody thought you were. The more you can stand in front of a crowd and present without utilizing a pen and a pad, or can present without utilizing what some could be a crutch. It made them believe something about you was possible. That's confidence, right? That's also about preparation. So the origins of spoken word for me existed in playing music, but also understanding how they translate words when I do graphic designs. And I'm saying, okay, you told me this entire story of what you want to do. How do I present this as a commodity of interest for and with other people to get them to do something? Messages expressed deliberately intending action. What action am I expecting and anticipating? And so from one standpoint, when I think about just words only, it's a headline. In newspapers, it's headline. Somebody say headline, right? It's the same as a tweet. In less than 250, how many characters in a tweet? Or threads? There used to be limits, right? In less than 7 words, how can I summarize what is going on? 7 words or less, right? But what I talk about when we first started, you might be scared to evolve. How many words? That set the frame of everything. You might be scared to evolve. Okay. Now I'm interested. Communicating with your messaging and understanding how poetry connects is communicating to the room where there's a centralized interest. In the most direct brevity, write this, brevity is gold. Brevity is gold. Your ability to speak directly specifically as brief as possible to what's going on is what this idea of the 7 words or less comes from. It's that opening statement, right? In newspaper, it's a headline. On your graphic designs, it might be on your flyer, it might be the name of the event, right? It could be creative currency, 2 words. Learn about this, right? Like, but looking at the options that you have to create and use these 7 words to connect the dots. The other part that you want to utilize in communication could be size. It's understanding the proximity, understanding how people read. They read from left to right, right? So if you put something at the top left, they're more likely to what? See it. So that is your prime real estate. What is the core thing you want to communicate when people first come in? What I did, if you notice, I clapped. Everybody clap it up for themselves, right? One is going to do something to your body to physically do that. The other part is that you get direct engagement right there. And I get to see who's engaged, who's involved, who's interested, or who's willing to go with me on this journey. And so I made this opening statement that exists from that standpoint. And utilizing spoken word from that standpoint is understanding aspects of theater, production, and performance. If I look at spoken word as the written word, it's poem. If I look at spoken word from another standpoint with documentaries, it's a voiceover. Once upon a time, in this place, this thing happened. It's voiceover. Call now. Get your taxes done by the professionals who know they can do it. Do it right. Right? That's still poetry. It's poetic because of your intention. Messages expressed deliberately intending action. You might be scared to evolve, but the LOVE in the word can carry you through the eternity of it all. No matter what is going on, the eternity of this idea of your presence, the eternity of no matter what you be, no matter if you, even if you're afraid, you can still do it. Because even if you see evolve and that's something you're afraid to do, you got to be able to find the love within it, right? So the willingness to see something again for the first time, the willingness to see from another perspective and be mindful of that in consideration, right? It's the same as media. This also creates memories. You're never going to, I can assure you, you're never going to see the word media, at least for the rest of this day, and not think of messages expressed deliberately intending action. That's a brand. Did I make an impression? Is it memory? That also share something with you that could benefit you in a way that you didn't even think. Write this one down. The way to a person's heart. The way to a person's heart is an unexpected gift. The way to a person's heart is an unexpected gift at an unexpected time. Somebody share with me what they wrote. The way to a person's heart is an unexpected gift at an unexpected time. An unexpected gift at an unexpected time. What did you write?
The way to a person's heart is an unexpected gift at an unexpected.
Gotcha. Pick someone else to say it.
The way to a person's heart is an unexpected gift at an unexpected time.
Gotcha. Pick somebody else to say it. Point them out. Who? All right, here we go. The way, say, come on, here we go. Here we go.
The way to a person's heart is an unexpected gift at an unexpected time.
The way to a person's heart is an unexpected gift at an unexpected time. Who likes gifts? Who appreciates gifts? Now imagine the thing that is gifted to you, it happens at an unexpected moment at an unexpected time. What does that feel like? You don't forget it. It's memorable. What does that feel like? Give me some emotion. Let's talk emotion. Feeling, sensation. What does that feel like? What is the sensation of that? Intrigue. Joy. Talk special. Gratitude. 2 more. Somebody over here in this table.
Thankful.
Say it again.
Thankful.
Thankful. Right? These are terms that work for us as humans. They work across the board, not necessarily as a strategy, but as an intention to be present in someone's life in the most minimal way, and to be present as an unexpected gift at an unexpected time. At the core, it doesn't matter what product you're selling. It doesn't matter what your intention is, because it doesn't matter what you're selling or your intention is to someone else. the idea is that you are so present and you're willing to be with them because we understand that that doesn't always happen. Once again, the reason we clap for ourselves is because somebody may not have clapped for us at all. And we feel a yearning or a craving for that, which still goes back to human desire and feelings and emotions. But what happens when we don't get it the way we want it? Right? So now, what message are you communicating? What message are you expressing deliberately intending action? Do you intend to lash out? Do you intend to cause harm?
Some people.
Right. We have to be able to identify that and make adjustments. Right? So as part of this, yes, we have to recognize our messages. We also have to recognize someone else's message and what they're intending. The context. Okay, I hear son. Right, but I don't, give me some context. What do you mean son? Spell it for me. Right? I hear son, but like, what does that mean for you? Well, that's the idea of asking questions. The questions are the gateway to perspective. Your willingness to ask yourself questions. This goes back to my journalism. Who, what, when, where, why, how. Now, there's this one word, sound like one letter. It changes everybody's emotions. When you ask, can you guess what it is? Why? Right. Tell me some emotional responses you've had to when someone asks you why. Because I said so. And now, what type of message do you think they're intending with that type of language?
Don't ask no questions.
Right? So if you're in a situation like that and you recognize it, what else can happen, right? Because we understand that generally why is going to lead to what? Conflict. It's not avoiding conflict, it's understanding that this is where it exists. If you're ready to move through that with that in mind, you can do that, right? I'm going to present something, because conflict can be what? Avoid it, scary. You might be scared to evolve. You might be afraid of having conflict. All right, and not that conflict is a problem, but just recognize that the possibility of it exists and allows you to identify other options. So I recommend asking, how should I receive that? How would you like for me to do that? Right, so one, why is a great question I think is reserved for yourself. How is the question you ask your others? When you get instructions or an invitation, you know, tell me one thing that y'all had to do or somebody told you to do that you really didn't understand. What's the directive someone gave you? They told you to do what? What?
I was fishing one time, and my dad was like, don't stand right there. I didn't see the fire ants. I stood right there. He let me get lit up.
Right?
I was 8.
Right? Now, two perspectives. Thank you for sharing that story, right? One part of it is, you got ate up. Dang. Ouch. He told you, right? But he also told you what not to do. He didn't tell you what to do. If he would have said, hey, son, take 2 steps to the left, you could have done what? In a different way than don't stand there. Okay, it didn't tell me what to do. So in our communication, we have to think about that. We have to be mindful of that, I think is the better word. Being mindful of that is how we utilize spoken word and speaking words and connectivity as an artist, but also just as a person overall. When I think about public speaking and using spoken word, this photo is of me. I look different, right? There's some probably narratives and stories you can put toward that. This is on stage at the Sunrose Hotel. I think I was doing some poetry and spoken word at this space. And I use this photo, one, it tells more story. Once it's out the frame, out the box, but also shows the dynamic of presentation from a visual standpoint that connects to the words, right? So I can be talking about SON, but I don't look like I represent that, right? It's the same as wearing a brand or a slogan that says, try Jesus, not me. That's a word. Stand up, brother. It's a word. It's also a shirt. Right? So now you can take your words and make them commodities. When you take your words and your ideas and attach them to a medium, it becomes a product that can be exchanged with currency as a currency, right? There's a centralized message that is media. Message expressed deliberately, intending action. When you put on that shirt, brother, what did you intend? Did you intend anything? No. Well, you didn't intend anything. When you put the shirt on, you didn't say, you know what, the rules say I can't walk around with no shirt on, so I'm going to put this on. So tell me what you intended when you put your shirt on.
Nothing really. I just put it on.
Because, right. Because what? Why did you put
Because he said this on it.
You put it on there because of that?
Yeah.
And why did you want that message to be communicated? What response do you get when you have this message communicated?
Like, don't mess with me.
Don't mess with me,
Yeah.
right? Now, that also goes into another slogan, right? If we think about slogans and words and sayings and how they perform, don't mess with Texas. Right? Because everything's bigger in Texas, but everything's better in Dallas or Arlington. Right? It's understanding that these words become expressions, and when we attach them to a medium, they actually can be exchanged. Media. It's also a brand. It's the brand of what the belief is. This other part of ideas is making your beliefs be life. When you have an idea and you make it present, that is part of making your message be life, making your beliefs be life. So being able to do that is what allows you to expand, I'll say expand your reach, right? When you got an idea and you put on a shirt, now somebody's buying that shirt, they're wearing that shirt. It actually start off as a song, try Jesus, not me, right? And so now we're using spoken words or sayings or phrases, putting them into songs that are memorable, that become promotional, can be connected to a product, that are placed with them amongst the people to be sold at a price. The 4 P's of marketing: product, place, price. What else? Product, place, price, packaging. Right? So all of these aspects of marketing, all these aspects of business are also connected, and how you show up to perform in the tour that it can perform, how it lives outside of you. Expanding into music, we talk about you might be scared to evolve. Your evolution will not be televised comes from the inspiration of a song. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. Right? And so what I did was saw that, the revolution the revolution won't be televised. How can I use something that exists currently and make another version of that? I have another poem, Will You Come With Me? And it's based on this idea of the song, we shall overcome someday. Yeah. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe one day you will come with me. Will you come with me, right? And I can transition from song that represents a moment, a song that represents a movement, a song that represents a social change, and the mantra of people into a poem that's modern day as a marketing. Come with me. Because when I go back to the idea of the pedagogy of marketing, it's an invitation and an introduction. The only way you can get this introduction is if you come with me. Let's do something together. At a core, the conversation about that messaging attaches and connects with everyone, everything. I've used it in campaigns for politics. I've used it in campaigns from a spiritual faith base. I've used the same thing in campaigns with Dart Rail. I've used the same thing as a march for togetherness. I use it as a poem when I talk about, like, I've never been married, never been engaged or anything like that. And I use that to say, I was going to use it as a proposal. Come with me. You see, nightly and every day, right? And I'm now able to use poetry or these sayings in a space that connects with people in a very dynamic and memorable way. And so expanding into music is about making it memorable, allowing it to be catchy. Once again, the stars are at night, are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas. I'm a futuristic storytelling, poetic rap crooner, like a mix of Delta blues, country rap tunes about Southern life, art, and business in the South, the way I see it. Experiencing art as shapes, letters, words, and sounds. This idea is the cornerstone of what I've been able to do from a futuristic storytelling. Whether I'm writing a story for a newspaper, or writing a story for a poem, or I'm speaking to a classroom, I'm able to understand how a futuristic perspective of storytelling from a poetic and a rap kind of way connects to people like a crooner. To go into more detail, a mix of Delta blues. The Delta around a river from a geographic standpoint has the richest soil. It's the mud, it's the swamps, it's where all the things the sediment has come down from other areas, traversed into the river and settled into an area. Some people call it the swamps. It's right around there, right? A mix of Delta blues. When you think about the blues, it's storytelling from a connective, emotional standpoint about Southern stories from the South. But also, if you say blues, in the blues club, you'll say baby. At the church house, you'll say Jesus. Right. I love you, baby. You mean so much to me. In church, they may say, I love you, Jesus. You mean so much to me. So once again, understanding how to use proximity, timing, and space and place to connect with people, right? Familiarity is a benefit. Delta Blues country rap tune. Listen, I'm a fan of Underground Kings, UGK. You know what I'm saying? My favorite artist, his name is Pimp C. Pimp in the way that you understand. Public intellect with morals and principles. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know what pimp y'all know. Y'all heard me say a public intellect? Hold on, let me write that one down. A pimp. Somebody put that in your notes. A pimp. Say, I am. Somebody say, I am. I am. A pimp. I'm a pimp. A public. Okay, spell. See. Intellect with morals and principles. Whew. We can flip that. I'm a pimp. Pimping is what pimping does, cuz. I do what I do. You do what you can. You dig? You picking up what I'm putting down? Listen, I'm D Walk, that brother with that sweet talk. You're on the right track, but the wrong train. You better learn my name, D Walk. If you don't, it'll be a slow song. What is that? Slow walk and a sad song. I'm a pimp. And so we utilize these Southern rap tunes to talk about Southern life, art, and business. Life, art, business in the South. We do things a little differently around here. It's not the story that's most told, but it's the one that you better understand if you're local, right? And then also in the South, the way I see it, experiencing art as shapes, letters, words, and sounds. The way I see it. I can see it multiple ways at one time. Now, if you don't like the way I see it, I can't do anything about that. We can talk about it, but if you make me be the problem, there's nothing good or beneficial that I'll ever do. That's the same that we have to do with words and other people. It may not feel comfortable to see it from that perspective, but how am I willing to be present to hear that from that perspective? And then once again, shapes, letters, words, and sounds. Growing up for me, the letter D was a half circle. The W was two triangles. I saw letters as shapes first, but I was also told, you're wrong. That's not a triangle. And I'm saying, well, do you see how I see? And I also had to be in myself to position, how would you like for me to see it? Right, so understanding what question to ask and using how as a means of asking that can provide context to what we're doing, and it just gives some insight to how we present. And then there are some other elements that go with that, as far as being able to ask the questions about what you see visually and utilizing the human sense overall. In closing, Derek Walker, I am D Walk. I just love the photo. I graphic design this, but it's just really, my name, Derek, means ruler of the people. And then my middle name is Ryan. It means king. And so I just kind of embodied that as a representation. One, to say that about yourself, say, my name means king is one thing, right? But also something else to show up with a crown and a fur coat. I knew somebody was going to pick up what I was putting down. You dig what I'm saying? Right? I'm a public intellect with morals and principles. Right? That means I have intention. And then how much time we got?
We got time for some questions.
Okay, final thing. So, right, my last album, my first album is named Be Inspired Before Leaving Earth. Be Inspired Before Leaving Earth. Y'all check that out on your platforms. And then my last album, are we talking about colors? Somebody spell brown? B-R-O-W-N. All right, now tell me the letters will start here. N. W O R D. Wait a minute. This spells what?
Bruh.
And this spells
N-word.
Wait, what's funny? N-word? Like inward perspective, right? Like I-N, right? Is that what y'all thinking?
No.
Oh, you were thinking in word, like in word, like with word?
I'm that for anything else, auntie.
Oh, of course not.
Well, what else? What other? Right? Your perspective might not be the only perspective that exists for someone else. Might be called a pimp. You can flip it. You might be called brown. You can flip it. You have the chance and the opportunity to utilize your words as a means of connecting with people, as messages expressed deliberately intending action, to connect to your brand as you be real and never deceive, and you stay connected and stay human and stay present. I appreciate the opportunity to share. Anybody got any questions, thoughts, perspectives, ideas, opinions? Anybody disagree? Please, somebody disagree.
Say that.
All right, real quick, questions, thoughts, perspective. Well, somebody tell me what you've been working on recently, and how can I support what you've been working on? Yeah, talk with me.
First.
I have a media company I've been building out with 2 friends. So hearing your presentation on not just marketing, but being able to interact with people, one thing that really stood out with me is learning how to use the proximity of like common ideas to connect different groups. I feel like that's one area that we have to work on the most. So
And what describe? You said using. Describe that again.
using the proximity of like common ideas to connect different groups.
Using the proximity of common ideas to connect with different groups. Right. What is that? What do you see? What's one thing you see that you can do? What's one option?
For me, I feel like we have some target audiences in mind, and so I think our next steps forward would be to analyze those audiences. You mentioned how, whether it's like in the club, somebody could say, I love you, or whether they're in church and they say, I love Jesus. Being able to take the idea of love from both of those groups and put them together is how we got to move forward.
Y'all snap it up for that. Y'all snap it. I mean, that's poetic, right? That's poetic. Thank you. Anyone else? What have you been working on? How has this been able to help you? What has been unlocked? Go ahead.
What you said in the beginning. Govern your mental so the government doesn't govern your mental.
Govern your mental so the government doesn't govern your what?
Mental.
Mentals. What does that mean for you?
That means being able to shit get locked up.
Learn the rules. Make sure you use the rules against themselves. Stay clean, even when you're doing dirty. There's a right way to do wrong.
Oh yeah.
Understand what's required. Understand what your risks are, what's possible. That's a good one. Anybody else? Anything stick out from another poem or anything?
The pimping.
The pimping? Oh, pimping is what pimping does. Of course you like it. Anybody like a pimp? Like a pimp? Like a pimp?
My great uncle was a pimp.
Your great uncle's a pimp? What did you understand about pimps?
Well, I take no pride in that. But my great uncle Sid, he was one of the most famous pimps ever. His funeral was a couple years ago. All the pimps in America came out to it. Like, serious.
So as a conversation, right, as we deconstruct that, because now what we're talking about is transferable ideas, right? Is to understand, okay, pimping as an industry, as a career option, super violent, risky, and abusive, and just not what you want to do.
He got kicked out of Hawaii. He had pictures with Shaq, everybody. No, they kicked him off the island because he was messing with their women. And the islanders didn't like it.
Right. So what I'm saying is, of those transferable skills, what skills do you think? What's one skill that you?
His son called me right before his class.
You better talk to him.
He's 21. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So let me ask you, of those transferable skills in a space that may not be socially
Acceptable?
not just acceptable, but that are socially violent and abusive, how do we extract something from that that's beneficial and useful?
We gonna know how to take from it.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
Growing up, I had a stable household for the most part, and our media, as far as black people, our movies, watching stuff like that, it gave me a different perspective on just relationships in general. My great uncle never met the guy. Never met him. This is my grandpa's brother, right? So this is technically my mom's first cousin. One called What I took from it was, you know, you live life. Where you play, that's where you lay. You play in the street, you're gonna die in the street. You play the government game, you're gonna die by government hands. You know, that's what I took from it. I took from it to be emotionally intelligent in a world full of crazy, or where you see what you might not be doing is right, but in the end, you're still chasing something, right or wrong. Like, I took it from, yeah, he wasn't inherently right as a person, right? But I saw what he built off of it. Whether he burning in hell right now or not, I saw what he built after that. I saw the wealth that his family had, the businesses they owned, the bad shit he was doing. That's what I took from. Like, we're crazy, in a world of crazy.
Let me share what I heard you say from that's transferable from everyone. Relationships, we'll say management, but relationships. Whether you're helping people take showers or you're helping them you're helping people take showers or you're selling bars of soap, there's a mission that exists. The key of getting to people or connecting with people is understanding what is driving, understand their mission and what drives their mission. And also understand from you standpoint, and I'm gonna share with you personally, I hear you doing, you see the outcomes, but you also understand that you don't have to choose the same option. Right? And that's what allows us to see those transferable skills of people, but also of words. Like, right, when you hear pimp, it goes into abuse. When I hear pimp and I see a public intellect with morals and principles. You're a public intellect with morals and principles. That's the guiding factor. That's the key, that's the guiding philosophy that changes, that has evolved from what you saw with your uncle to the possibility of yourself.
These are all stories I've heard.
Yeah, and it's all, listen, and it's so much, it's all connected to stories. But if you hear a story from the wrong context, you have to hear the story from a variety of contexts, right? Because the person who's sharing their story, are they glorifying it? Are they excited about it? And what is their intention? And so the intention is what connects back to the media. Messages expressed deliberately intending action. What are you expecting the response to be from this? Last one, you got one more?
Okay, before the green sticky note is your exit ticket, so I need 2 takeaways. Many of you have already written lots of stuff, okay? But if you haven't written a thing, shame on you. And you need to write it now. 2 takeaways. At least 2 takeaways. Make sure your name is on that sticky note, okay? And Derek is gonna hang around, I think, okay, for another 10 minutes or so until I think we don't give me and Miss Patricia chat after class, so I don't think there's another class that comes in here. So give me your sticky notes, okay, with your name and 2 takeaways, okay, from something that D-Walk presented, okay? It's your exit ticket. And then if you have other questions or want to have some personal conversations with Derek, you're welcome to hang around.